Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, good day, whichever time you are watching this. Hello there. I am Monique. I also go by Mojo, but my name is Monique. So, hello and welcome to my channel. Today, we are going to talk about the tapas. The tapas of yoga ethics. Tapas can mean anything as far as self discipline, change, transformation. And yoga, it's not just on the mat where we're finding that discipline within ourselves to practice one pose to another and showing up for ourselves. For me, that's really what it's about. It's all about showing up for yourself, whatever that means to you. So just a breakdown: tapas, austerities, self-discipline, change, transformation. And tapas come from the word tap in Sanskrit, which means to burn. So a good example of this is when we're practicing, we might feel that burning sensation, and that's really helping us burn off the impurities in our body. So, and that can be burning it off physically, mentally, emotionally. So I really feel that in this day and age, we can all benefit from that. As someone who is very disciplined, I feel like it can be, you can teach yourself, but it's also something that is natural. Growing up, I've pretty much been disciplined. I know what I like, know what I want, and once I want to learn whatever that is, I'm going to do whatever it takes to learn whatever that subject is. If it really resonates with me, very disciplined on that. And I had no knowledge about how disciplined I was until I got older and I would see how, people would do certain things, friends, family, and you start reflecting within yourself and start thinking to yourself, is this something that I want to do? Is this something that thrives with me? So do you thrive off of your actions? Me being disciplined, I have thrived off of that. But there has been times where I wasn't so disciplined or I would step away from it. And I've learned when I do step away and do things that are not meant for me to do, things just end up being weird, you know? And it's okay to live your life and do whatever you want, but notice how that feels. Notice how it feels. Notice if it's moving you along or if it's keeping you stuck. I really, really like digging into the yoga ethics because it's not just about practicing on the mat, but what you're taking with you off of the mat. And I didn't even realize that it was a thing because you would see so much physical work. And yoga is physical work, but it's also very internal. And just as if you're showing up for yourself on your mat, you're showing up to class, showing up to your appointments, your sessions, showing up for school, whatever it is that you're showing up for, are you showing up for yourself? Is this whatever you're doing bettering yourself? Bettering, not because the thing is, when you better yourself, and it's not a selfish thing, but when you think about it, it helps better the things around you. You're creating that energy, and it's not a selfish thing when you have that self-discipline. I feel like if you don't have that, and you're just going buck wild, then that can be a selfish act, because sometimes when you're doing things that are just outrageous, and you're just, doing whatever it is, oftentimes other people are affected by that, not just the person that's creating those actions. So I do believe in just taking that opportunity, checking in with yourself, see about finding that discipline. And it takes time, it's an everyday, it's a practice, it's an everyday thing. Being more mindful of how our actions are, towards ourselves, how are our actions benefiting us, how is it benefiting other people, a lot of that. And just like how I've learned in yoga school, just in general, it's always going to look different. Tapas or any of the yoga ethics, mythology, the philosophy, the whole thing, even when we practice on the mat, our asanas may not look identical because we're all different people. So we're all going to take things in differently. We're all going to put things out differently. I just hope that me explaining this, it can help resonate with anyone who may want more knowledge about it, who may want to see how or hear how it works for someone else, because we're all sharing. We can all learn something from each other. And sometimes when you hear it from someone else, it may sound, that description may resonate with you. So that's what this is all about today, me going over this. And then too, it just helps us being disciplined, whatever that means to you. You're not just being more self-aware and being mindful of what you're doing, but it, in the long run, it is going to make you wiser, and it's going to make you stronger as a person, because you're being more, you're giving yourself that space and that time to really prioritize things and put those puzzle pieces together. We have all these pieces, and then that discipline just helps us combine them together. The more you do it, the more you practice it, the better it is. I'll give you an example. I practice not just yoga, but I practice minimalism. Now, I didn't realize it was a thing, and intermittent fasting. Some of these things I did not realize they were called anything, or the terms intermittent fasting, minimalism. That's just an example. Years ago, I would say, I'm 34, so maybe like 13 years ago, I've learned, going through my weight loss journey, that no matter the diet that I was following, it just was not helping me, and they all have different benefits, but I didn't feel like it was just good with me. Doing a smoothie at 9 and then having meals every 2 hours or whatever it is. And then I was like, I'm just going to eat when I actually feel hungry. And then over time, I've learned I was eating later in the day. Now, don't get me wrong, I have my moments and I have my days where I'm like, okay, I want this and I want that. And, live and do your things in moderation. That's what I believe in. But I've noticed that practicing intermittent fasting, which I didn't know what was at the time, and doing it now, I just felt more like clear-minded. I felt more just ready for the day, but also I felt more in control of myself, and I didn't feel so routine. So it was a lot of different things. And then even with the minimalism, when I was doing just a lot of self-reflecting and seeing how my family is, seeing how the people around me were, and how they would be so consumed with the material stuff, with stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are some amazing stuff. But I start to think to myself, why are we collecting all these stuff? Like all the stuff, it started to build up. And I noticed when I was purchasing and buying a lot of stuff, like I would not really utilize it. I wasn't really using it. It was there, and it started to add up, and it started making me feel very cluttered. It's just like, no, why do I have all this stuff? And all the stuff that was building up, it was building up in here too, and creating like fogginess. So with me, at that time, I didn't have the discipline to not buy things. I was always buying things like, oh, I'm gonna buy this. But I learned that I was trying to fill in some type of void, so I was trying to fill something in that I did not realize was missing, but I was constantly just trying to fill in that hole, and at the same time distract myself from that, whatever that was. I didn't know what it was. I didn't quite understand it at that time. But as I got older and became more wiser within myself, my actions, and the people that I've surrounded myself with, I was doing that because I was going through a lot. And I lacked the discipline of really catering to myself. And I put all that energy out catering to other people. And then, you find your escape. So shopping became that. And then getting all this stuff. And over time, it's like, why do I have all of this? Why is this in here? So, you start thinking about those things as you practice a bit more. You start reflecting, and you start again putting those puzzle pieces together. So, becoming more mindful of why we do the things that we do, and just tapping in to our tapas, really figuring out what makes us thrive as far as showing up for ourselves, and how showing up for ourselves is going to help everybody in the long run. It can help encourage people to do the same for themselves and find out why. Like, why do I do this? And maybe I can find other ways to battle that. Because some people find, or hear the word discipline as such a bad word, or it's negative, or, it feels forceful, and it shouldn't be. It should not be any of those things. You, of course, want to make it what it is for you, because it is going to be different. It's going to sound and resonate with people on a different level. But I definitely noticed that when I became disciplined in certain avenues of my life, with health and fitness, showing up for myself, different opportunities and better opportunities were aligning with that. So I think that's really important to consider. So I'm just going through some notes here. And this is another example, like meditation. That's you showing up for yourself. Just taking that moment and just checking in with yourself, doing whatever it is you can to show up for yourself, to better yourself, and how that can thrive and go out into the world. As crazy as it sounds, I feel like a lot of us are responsible, not just within ourselves, but with everything that's going on. We all have a responsibility, and I feel that a lot of it has to do with ourselves. when you have that discipline or like the self-love, and you really take the time to get to learn yourself and want to better yourself, imagine that, how many more people will be happy. There wouldn't be all this crazy hatred stuff going on, because there's so much love within ourselves. We want to spread that out. When you have that hate, that dislike within yourself, obviously that's going to spread out. We're projecting that out. So if we do a better job at focusing on ourselves, bettering ourselves and our intentions, it's a start. It's a start. So my homework assignment for you is to think about ways you show up for yourself. I feel like a lot of us don't give ourselves more credit. So really think about that. What are ways, or what are the things you do that currently allow you to show up for yourself? And what is something you would like to do to show up for yourself? So comment below, or you can write in your journal or whatever it is to help remind you on ways to show up. Just as simple as that. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on practicing tapas? Not just on the mat, but off the mat. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, whatever it is. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.